Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, I am wishing everybody a wonderful, glorious Sunday. It is Sunday, and I am on a walk. I have already been reading today. I read out of Job. I just felt like Job is appropriate, I felt like with everything going on in the world right now, I wanted to kind of revisit. And I think it's always good to read if you're starting to question, if you're starting to wonder, why in the heck is all of this going on? Why is all of this evil going on? Why is this being allowed? Why does it seem like, no one is being punished? Why does it seem like this evil is just continuing and nothing is being done? And why does it seem like all of the bad people are, winning? I just love reading Job, and I love that, he got put through absolute hell. And anyway, I was reading that today, and so before I get ahead of myself, I didn't mean to just start out the gate, hello, good morning, and then just dive right into it. That was a little abrupt. I apologize. I was a little just jumping right into it too much, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you guys slept well. I hope you're feeling refreshed and ready to start the day. Again, I'm not claiming to be some completely perfect, righteous, holy person. I am trying my best every day. Like I said, I believe in God, but I certainly can't call myself a Christian because I don't really behave very Christianly all the time. I certainly have my questions, and I don't always walk that walk, so that's why I don't want to try to claim I'm something that I'm not, because I don't want to appear to be a hypocrite. So, again, before I really get into everything, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for being there, for listening, to tuning in. Gosh, it means just a lot. It means the world to me. I'm getting more and more people checking me out and hearing what I have to say, listening to my thoughts and my point of view on things. And even if you disagree, even if you think I'm crazy and unhinged and just absolutely full of crap, you're still here. You're tuning in. So thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear this water? Isn't that soothing? Can you hear the birds? When I'm just feeling absolutely sad and heartbroken and angry, and I have questions and I have doubts, and I'm just like, I just don't understand how people can do and say some evil things and continue to hold their head high and double down on the evil things they say and do, and double down and triple down and make excuse after excuse for their words and for their behavior and their actions. And it's so frustrating to me. It's so frustrating when people are doing something that is so hypocritical and blatantly lying and blatantly evil, and they just not only don't care, but they laugh. Like Don Lemon. He just sat there and admitted, saw with his own eyes, watched with his own eyes, talked about out of his own mouth with his own words, talked about how people were running out of the church terrorized. That was a word he used. He used that word. He said it when he was in the church, that they were terrorized. He kept using the word terrorized and commenting on how kids and the people were terrorized. And he talked about how they were running out because they were terrorized, and how it's okay. They should feel terrorized. They need to feel uncomfortable. They should feel uncomfortable. He was laughing and then talking about, though, how he was going to slip and fall from the ice, and kept laughing about it and taking it not even seriously at all. That these people, these children, these kids, these elderly people that were in the middle of praying, in the middle of worshiping, and he just thought it was hysterical and was only worried about his safety. He was worried about his safety and his feelings. He was worried about getting subscribers. He was worried about clicks and likes. He definitely had that on his mind. But he didn't have concern for the children or anybody there. He just went in purposely to terrorize. He admitted it. And for some reason, he thought that because he's a journalist, we're going to put that in air quotes, by the way, journalist, quote, somehow that made him immune. Oh, no. I'm a journalist. Oh, I can burst into your home while you're in the middle of dinner, and I can bust into your home while you're sitting down eating and put a camera in your face and they'll go, hey, get out. What the hell? You don't get to just bust into my house. I'm eating. It's my home. Oh, no. You don't understand. I'm a journalist. No, that isn't how it works. It's private property and it's a church. So not only did he go onto private property, again, you can stand outside the church. You can stand outside the church, but you don't get to go into the church and freak out, especially after the pastor tells you to leave, especially after people tell you to leave. It's private property. And the fact that you're a journalist has no bearing on the issue whatsoever. You don't get to have carte blanche to just go do whatever you want because you're a journalist. It doesn't work that way. You don't get on a plane and just sit wherever you want and go, no, I'm going to sit there now. And they're like, this is my seat. No, you don't understand. I'm a journalist. So, yeah. Or bust into, like I said, someone's home and be like, yeah, what are you doing in here? And then start sticking a camera in their face and telling them how you have First Amendment rights. Those don't apply to private property. And it certainly doesn't apply to church services in the middle of church services. I don't understand why a journalist, quote, wink, wink, wouldn't know that. If you're a journalist, one would think you would know what you're allowed to do on private property. But Don Lemon is Don Lemon, and he is an absolute moron to the 1 billionth degree. He has nothing whatsoever. He doesn't know anything. He just wants to try to be a cool kid. He wants desperately to be a cool kid. And he kept saying, like and subscribe, because all he cared about was views. I had someone try telling me, why should I care about what you think? You only have 37 followers. And I'm like, I'm not Jesus. I'm not needing or wanting followers. I'm not trying to gain followers. That's why I don't spend an absorbent amount of time. I go in spurts. I'm on social media, then I'm not on social media. Then I'm on it, and then I'm not on it. I have a job. I am not trying to become some famous influencer. I don't need to influence people. I think that you should do your own research. I think that you should gather information and like who you want to like. I'm not going to try to sway you to like me. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to influence you to do anything. I just get on my social media and talk about my opinions, my observations, my thoughts, things that are keeping me up at night. I don't go on there to try to influence anyone to say or do anything. So the people that are like, oh, you're not important because you don't have enough followers. Again, I'm not God. I'm not trying to start a church. So I don't need you to follow me. I don't think that I'm some deity that people need to worship. So that's cool. I think if you want to listen to my podcast, I appreciate it greatly. I definitely appreciate it. I think it's awesome. And if you want to look at my social media posts, I think it's awesome and I appreciate it greatly. But I'm not going to go out of my way to try to desperately make people like and subscribe. I just throw it out there, and if you want to, cool. If you don't, you don't have to. I don't like peer pressure. I don't handle peer pressure well. Again, I've talked about this before. The more people try to pressure me to do something, the more I'm going to dig my heels in and simply not do it at all now. Because I don't need you trying to dictate my life. And it's funny because, again, liberals are like, down with dictators. Dictators are bad. Dictators are bad. Down with Donald Trump. He's a dictator. Really coming from the people that are quite literally dictating every single aspect of everyone's lives. You are dictating how people should think, what people should believe in, who they should believe in, what they should believe, what gender they think, what gender they should identify with. You're constantly dictating everyone's lives. You throw temper tantrums and cancel people and riot every single time someone doesn't do what you feel or think someone should be saying or doing, or how they should feel. Look at Nicki Minaj. You completely turned on her because she decided to have a different point of view. It's okay for people to change their mind. It's okay for people to go, oh, I didn't have all the information. I didn't have all the facts. After doing my research and gathering information, I've decided to change my mind. That's called being a human. That's just called being a human, or growing up, or educating themselves. It's a million things, but it certainly isn't some horrific, it's certainly, sorry, my dog was getting ready to eat something gross. But it isn't some terrible, horrible thing where suddenly she's just this flip-flopping jerk that you guys liked 5 seconds ago. Same with Elon Musk and electric cars and the environment and dictators. You guys have changed your mind, but unfortunately it wasn't because you got educated. It wasn't because you've gathered information. It's because you got paid. So talk about a cult. It's hilarious to me when people are like, oh, you're a maggot cult. You're a maggot cult. Says the people. Who are we following? Who are we following? No one's answering me that. What's Trump telling us to do? What is Trump telling us to say and do that we're going around saying and doing? You guys, however, literally are going around going, oh, here's a riot, there's a riot, everywhere's a riot. Old McLiberal had a farm, a funny, funny farm, with a riot here and a protest there, here a riot, there a riot, everywhere a protest. You guys just constantly want an excuse to be as miserable and violent as possible, and you're getting paid, and it's been proven. Now we've got this Handmaid's Tale thing going on. What the heck? Are you kidding me? The Handmaid's Tale thing is just killing me. Who paid for all of that? It looks very, very nice. They're not some quick little costume. Halloween's over. And somehow they all have identical, matching, high-quality Handmaid's Tale outfits with super nice signs. And it's only happening, these protests are only happening in Minneapolis. Only in Minneapolis. Only where Tim Waltz and Jacob Fry are, and Ilhan Omar are associated with. Where all the massive, massive fraud is happening. Interesting that it's not happening anywhere else. Interesting how the liberals don't care about ICE being anywhere else. Interesting they don't care about the illegal immigrants being deported in any other city or state other than the one that there's massive fraud going on. Now, if it comes out that California has a massive, massive fraud, I bet you there'll be riots there too. You watch. All of a sudden, Gavin Newsom's going to be like, oh, he's already trying to weasel out of the fact that he knows the fraud's going to be exposed. So he's trying to get ahead of it. He's trying to get ahead of the game and say a bunch of crap so that it can look like, oh yeah, of course there's fraud. There's fraud, but everybody's doing it. Why is that a thing now? To be like, well, so-and-so did it, so I can do it. No, that's not how it works. Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because someone else commits fraud and lies and steals our tax-paying, citizens' money, doesn't mean that every other governor now gets to do that. Whether they're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't get to commit fraud. And just like Don Lemon, it doesn't matter that he's a journalist. Journalists still don't get to go onto private property or go into churches and do what he did. He knew what was going on. He mentioned it. There's all kinds of footage before the protest on how he knew they were going to a church. He let it slip out a couple of times that he already knew in advance. He knew in advance there was going to be a protest at a church. He knew it. He talked about it with his own words. It wasn't a clipped and edited video. It's an actual video with his own words. He knew kids were terrorized and being terrorized, and he knew people were being terrorized. He used those words himself and said. So everybody crying for Donny Boy. Oh, Donny Boy, the pipes are calling. I know it's Danny Boy, but I'm going to say Donny Boy. Get over it. He's wrong. And if anybody were to do this to a black church, if white people were to go into a black church and do this, oh man, the wrath. Imagine, close your eyes, everybody, close your eyes, do it, close your eyes, and imagine what would happen. Imagine what would happen if Megyn Kelly or Ben Shapiro or anybody that is a Republican were to go into a church and do what these protesters and what Don Lemon did, and then just went, what? I'm just here to, and then laughed at kids crying and laughed because someone broke their arm because they were so scared to death they went running out of the church and they broke their arm. A child, an elderly were crying. I don't think that would go over well. I know it wouldn't. Just the hypocrisy is just like molasses. It is thick like Lizzo's fucking fat ass thighs. I'm talking to you, Lizzo, hypocrite. Oh, and Meghan Trainor. Oh, being fat is great. There's nothing wrong with it. And if you don't think my huge obese body is not adorable and perfect and wonderful in every way, and you don't worship me for being obese, then you're a fatophobe. It's just horrible to call me fat. Well, you are fat. And again, it doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. It doesn't mean that you're not a good person, but you are fat. It's not fat phobic because someone calls you something, that you are fat, you are obese. And now suddenly you guys are losing weight. I thought that you said being fat was not unhealthy. And anyone saying that it was unhealthy was just fat phobic and awful. And now you're losing weight? I'm very confused. Are you fatophobe? Are you a fat phobe? No, you're not. You're not fat phobic. You just know that it's incredibly, you've probably had a lot of health issues. You've probably been suffering health issues. But anyway, Don Lemon is not above the law, unfortunately, for the liberals. And saying, oh, well, other prosecutors. No, it just said that a lot of lawyers will not take cases. Not because they don't think that a lot of times they won't take them, maybe because they don't like the person. Maybe it's a conflict of interest. Maybe they don't think there's enough evidence. Who knows? But there's many reasons. It's not because what Don Lemon did wasn't illegal, though. That's never what they said. They didn't go, oh, he didn't commit any crime, so I'm not going to take the case because he didn't do anything illegal. No, it was for their own personal issues that they didn't want to do the case because it's an open and shut case. But at any rate, I am listening to the birds. Listen to that. Oh, right on cue. I had that, my birds are trained. Listen to that. It's like I trained them. I'm listening to the birds in the water, and I am focusing on the good. And again, part of that good is you guys listening to my podcast. How amazing is that? How amazing is it that I've been getting more and more people checking out my little old podcast, little old me? Thank you. I hope you guys are celebrating this morning, evening or afternoon, whatever it is when you're listening. But I hope you're celebrating today. I hope you're waking up trying to be a good person and being thankful. I'm thankful for my family. I got to see them yesterday. God is definitely good for allowing me to have my family come up safely. They got to and from we got to see each other safely. We all made it there and back safe. We had a beautiful time. It was a gorgeous day. It was a beautiful day yesterday in the middle of winter, and it was absolutely beautiful. So I'm so thankful for that. And I am going to continue to focus on the good, no matter how many people are like, that's insane. Okay, well, you do you. That's all right. I'm going to continue to be happy for my family and for life. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you choose to do so again. I hope you listen to me again. But again, I'm not telling you what to do. You do you. But if you want to listen, man, I'll be your best friend. So thank you so much. Until next time.